Healthy living, creating a life of abundance, experiencing freedom and peace. These all come from self-mastery. Welcome to the Life by Design Institute podcast, where we tie together spirit and science to build your personal foundation. Now, here's your host, Dr. Will Miller.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Life by Design Institute's podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Will Miller. Our subject today is living life on purpose, and we have a very special guest, Nicole Ashton, who is with us. And Nicole is a good friend, been a good friend for a long time, and has agreed to be our guest today. And Nicole has had a near-death experience, so we're going to ask a lot of questions about her near-death experience today, and open ourselves up to maybe some new ideas and what Nicole does. So, tapping into living our life on purpose, Nicole, being the creator of Energy Healing by Design, also being an internationally known healer and luminary, you understand kind of tapping into what our purpose is. I mean, it kind of took a near-death experience for you to understand and really love yourself and find yourself and find that purpose and that what we'd call like your purpose in life, if you will, and more of a soul purpose. Would you agree?
I do. The interesting thing with your purpose is that from the core of your being, it seems like we're desiring something outside of ourselves to serve our purpose. And so it's kind of like you're always seeking. The truth of it, from what I experienced when I crossed over, is that purpose is to love and to be loved. And everything else falls in place with that. But I feel like it's like the human nature, just to compile things and seek and find things outside of yourself. And so purpose to me is a very interesting word. So when I was in the light, let's go there. When I was in the light and I crossed over, I realized that everything is in harmony. Everything moves to where it fits. And let's say the spectrum of light and dark, of good and bad, whatever, is really is purposely moving in harmony, and if something doesn't fit, it moves away. And in the desires set forth here in the human experience is that we're kind of moving away from our purpose in some ways. So I feel like that word is a very interesting one to research, investigate, I guess. I
agree. So would you say then that it's our soul comes with a calling, and that as our human side is then trying to suppress that or ignore it, if you will, almost? Is that?
Yeah, the most amazing thing is with your purpose, with your soul purpose, your soul desire, this soul has such a purity about it, because you are pure, you're divine, you are the light. And it's so interesting how the human conditioning and even the physical body itself almost rejects the light of who you are. So you say you are like this essence of God, let's say that, or creator, source, whatever feels good to you. And the human experience, the human conditioning almost says, no, I'm not worthy of that. And so you almost like push away what is divinely yours, your birthright, if that makes sense.
Sure. That does make sense. And because it's what we teach at the Life by Design Institute, is overcoming that subconscious conditioning, right? Mm-hmm. To consciously now make decisions and find your soul and your spirit, and use your soul and your spirit as the main part of you, right? We're not this body. We just live in this body, right? Tell us, though, before we kind of get even deeper, just tell us about your near-death experience and kind of where you were at in your life when you had it, and just briefly maybe hit that for us so we know.
So when I crossed over, which was 11 years ago, I had cancer. I was going through a really dark space, but at that time, emotionally, physically, spiritually, just felt maybe broken. And I was drinking alcohol at the time. And I went into surgery and I came back out. And people really want to know this story lately. I trust it's because, you know what, we all fall. We all are in this space at some time, maybe not with alcohol, but some kind of addiction. I think that I feel and I see and sense through traveling the world that the human experience, this experience here is addicted to suffering, is addicted to overthinking. So this experience that I got to go through and go to the other side was this. I got to face on that addiction, that human conditioning. And as I went into the white light, I came to the understanding that white light is so full of love, is so full of light, and it's masculine and it's feminine. And when I asked, what is it that I need to bring back, or what is it that I knew I was coming back. I saw my past, present, and future. I knew that I had something bigger than to do, and I was going to come back. I asked what I needed to know. And it was like no words. It's just a knowing that I needed forgiveness. So I asked for forgiveness in this light of Source Creator. And I knew there's no judgment here. The person you need to ask is you, me.
So when you died, then you saw this white light you're talking about, and you went into this white light, and this is where you felt the no judgment. And what did you see other than white light? Was it just white light and everything else was just felt, or kind of help us understand that a little bit?
It was every facet of lights you can imagine, and it's you see, sense, and know that there's this masculine, feminine being of the God Creator Source that is like sourcing this information. And then I witnessed different energies and different lights. So everything in there is formless. It's all one just big knowing. And then I got to see the universe. I got to see these colors and these fractals of light and harmonies and frequencies. And then when I knew I was coming back to my body, I experienced a very bright blue light that I use now in my healing practice. And I moved back into my body, realized the body is water, and that by using that blue light and waking back up the body, that I was able to now be back in my body, obviously, after being defibrillated. And I couldn't walk or talk or read or write. I couldn't do anything for
How long did you pass for? How long were you dead for?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Flatline for 10 minutes.
And they were working on you this whole time, I take it, to bring you back.
In the ambulance, yes.
Yeah. So you were in the ambulance when they were working on you, and then at the hospital when you came back? And you said you knew that you were coming back. So how did you know that you were coming back?
I saw the past, present, and future when I was in that white light. I saw that what I am doing now, and the healing that I'm doing now, and the traveling, everything that I'm doing now, I saw in that.
So in that, being gone for that long, you know, if you were flatlined for that long of a time and they were working on you, tell us about the kind of the physical and the emotional effects from after you came back. Obviously, I know you as a friend, so I know you had some physical issues and some emotional issues that you were dealing with. But kind of maybe hit the physical issues for us real quick, and then tell us emotionally what you were going through as well.
So at the time I couldn't walk or talk, and so I came back to a body that I got the opportunity to lay in bed. And emotionally, I didn't understand the emotions. I forgot my past. And so I was relearning my kids. I was relearning all this stuff. I didn't know to be sad. I didn't know that I couldn't get up. I didn't know that because the doctors and because everyone's making a plan for me to be in my, like, a plan to take care of me every day. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen, because I saw in the white light that I have a purpose, and in that purpose I am mobile, I am moving, I am doing what I'm supposed to do. And so every day I didn't listen to, I wouldn't go back to the doctors, I didn't listen to anybody, and I stayed in the white light. I stayed with the some call angels, some call ascended masters. They have so many different names, but they're beautiful fractals of light that love you so much. And I had the opportunity at that time to relearn programming and listen to people saying that I was a pain in the butt, and they had to take care of me, and on and on and on. I could hear that, However, I chose to be in that white light. So I literally did not disconnect from the white light. I said, show me how to be my purpose. Show me how to walk again. Show me how, show me how. And I just kept showing up and showing up and showing up until eventually I moved out of my bed. I walked up those stairs and I started to be what I was taught. And then I started doing. The hardest part was probably the people around me not trusting it. And so they overlooked that I'm walking and talking. They were focused on, wow, you talk to angels.
How long did it take you to walk and talk after?
18 months.
So a year and a half. It took you a year and a half. And during that time, did you start talking first or walking first?
Communicating. I started talking, but I chose not to because I was realizing that no one was accepting what I was saying anyway. So I was just wasting my energy on trying to convince somebody that I'm going to be okay. Rather, I use that energy inside of my body. And as I was doing that, I remembered in the white light, those colors, the frequencies, the sound, everything that happened in there. I knew I needed to put that in my body and I'd walk again.
So during this 18 months, all this is going on and you're still attached to the light, if you will, and still getting instruction on how to do these things. At what point did you know that you were coming back for a new purpose, or what your purpose was? How did that go? Explain to us.
I feel like it was a reminder because I fell out of a truck at 4.5 and I was in a coma for 3 days. So I feel like it was a huge reminder that I was going off the path. So it was like, I feel like that I've always been different. I was born awake. I've always had these gifts. I just suppressed them because you don't want to be teased when you're younger. It's about talking to spirits, especially in our era. And then each one of my children had illnesses or a tumor and whatnot. And I had worked on them. And the doctors were like, I don't know how your children are alive. I don't know how this happened. And at the time, I thought it was my intuitiveness as a mom, but later on found out that I was born with these gifts. And I moved into drinking after a while. And what happened is I got cancer. And I had to use and then I was kind of forced in, well, obviously I died, so I was forced into accessing my gifts, and now I know how to use them. So I feel like that we're handed things in our lives, small or large, it doesn't matter, but things that tap into your innate knowing, your innate abilities to immaculately love, to heal, to be that greatness. But we're literally pushed to do it sometimes, and I feel like that's what this death did. And even afterwards, there's when you're seeking, and you stop to listen, you start getting these experiences that seem like life changing in a detrimental way. You're in the storm, you don't know what to do. But if you really experience a storm instead of suffering through it and saying, I'm surviving, you sit in that storm and you ask yourself, what am I supposed to learn? Show me. And Spirit will show you if you're willing.
So tell us then, obviously, one of my questions was, did you know your purpose before, or was it because of your NDE? You kind of, your near-death experience, you basically answered that for us by saying that you had these gifts already. But let's take that a little further. You had those gifts. At what point, or was there a point even that you said, I know what my purpose or what my calling is? Or did it take this NDE to kind of get you there, or to shake you awake, if you will? I don't know.
Well, my unfailing love for the human experience and the human, and wanting to, since a little girl, wanting to like fix something and knew I had a bigger purpose, didn't make sense, and it almost became an anger towards humans because I didn't get it. I'm like, I thought everyone was like me. When the NDE happened, it awakened more of a sensory to me so that I could see that I am different and it's okay. It gave me almost that permission to just move forward fearlessly, because I then lost the belief system that I couldn't do it. Before, if I didn't die, I would have been in fear like everybody else. Right now, I don't know I can't do anything. I jump on a plane and I do things that most wouldn't dare do. And it's because of that NDE I mean, I died. What else can happen to me, you know? And so it pushed me into like being, instead of just knowing that there is greater things for humans, and that there's this love that's inside of everybody else. Everyone has it. And it's this expression of God, creator, light coming through. And if I wouldn't have died, I would have been in fear to speak out. I would have been in fear to step into the doing. And now I'm being that purpose. And seeing it as a validation in the light actually like made it unstoppable.
So you're living your soul's purpose now, right? And you're traveling all over internationally and healing people. And tell us how we can do this, or how we can discover what our purpose is without without dying, right? I don't want to die. So to learn it, I want to be able to learn it. So, and I know that's a big, from knowing you, that's a big deal to you, is everybody has these abilities. Everybody can do it, and you don't have to die to get there. So kind of explain to us, what can we do? How do we do this?
It's in the practice. It's sitting with yourself and finding that self-love. And even if it's little gaps, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the bigger that they get, and it becomes just innately knowing that you're doing the best that you can. It's in your attitude, and it's really, I feel like everyone has this list to do better, but sometimes your list doesn't get accomplished. So the next day, here's a bigger list, and you never feel accomplished. Really, this small step is check off the things that you do and be proud of those. And you'll the understanding of that self-expression or value, all of a sudden gifts open up to you. Because when you're a baby child, this sounds funny, sorry, when you're a baby child, you had that knowing that you were all love. You had that desire to be great, because you knew you were born in greatness and a spark of light, and your only desire was to be that. And then through criticism and whatnot, you moved away from it. So it's these little gaps that remind you of that childlike love will propel you into something bigger. And through joy is unconditional love and emotion. You don't have, it just happens. It happens spontaneously. So when you're able to do that is the highest healing abilities. Your gifts will open up when you tap into that and you allow yourself to feel that.
I love that you say that, because that's exactly what we teach at Life by Design. Is you have this life code that you've been conditioned to live, but you can rewrite the code. You can create a new code. And the more you get into creating that code, the more you open up your gifts, the more your gifts will come to you. And we all have gifts. You know, I've been an intuitive empath since I was young too. And the more I've spent learning what I've learned, and you and I have worked together many times, you've seen that gift has increased and other gifts open up, right? And everybody has that. Would you say that everybody has that ability to
We were born with a soul's design. You designed this experience before you came here, and when you now are here on Earth, you kind of fall into amnesia, and it's up to you to find those key points, those life codes which are held in your DNA. It's up to you to find those, access them, and be them. But most people fall into the busy life, and they don't take that 5-10 minutes to love themselves and open their heart up. And so practice, and then once your DNA starts activating, opening, which I do DNA activations, which has healed many illnesses, even cancer. And so imagine when you access that, and through your own intention, if the intention that I'm focused on and that I bring down and that I connect people to can in fact heal and assist people in suffering of cancer and illnesses and brain disorders and things like that. Imagine what you can do with your own innateness to an intention to heal your own body, to love yourself, and start with loving yourself, because you can't really love anybody wholly until you are in love with yourself.
And I agree with that. I think that most people forget that part. And they take it to such an extreme about loving themselves that's all they worry about. I always tell people, you can love others and also still learn to love yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Just because you're learning to love yourself doesn't mean you stop loving others. It just means you learn to love yourself so you can love others more and better. And in fact, I think you and I were talking about this yesterday just a little bit, about how once you kind of get to that point, your love changes. And in white light that you were in, tell us about the love you felt there, so people can kind of understand a little bit what we're talking about there.
There's the white light has this unfailing love, and there's no expectation, there's no attachment. There, beyond a shadow of a doubt that love is always there, and that you're very deserving of it. And there's like this sense of relief that you don't have to earn it. You were born in it. There's this safety that comes in that white light. And the most amazing thing was that I witnessed, we all have it inside of our hearts, and every cell of our body has this expression of the light of that love inside of us already. When you stop seeking it outside of yourself, and you realize it's always been there, and always will be, no matter what you do. And I say, no matter what you do, you are loved and you are appreciated. And as you go through your experiences and your life happens, that love does not leave you. You may move away from it emotionally because you're not allowing yourself to feel it, but as far as the spirit, as that love, as that deservingness of the light, never leaves you.
Well, that's good. That's good news for all of us. So tell us again then, give us some practices we can do, ourselves without having to have a near-death experience. Give us some practices that we should be doing on a daily basis or a weekly basis, whatever, to bring this same light and see, what we're missing and the things that you were able to feel during your near-death experience. Help us with some practice.
The first thing is your body. I know this physical vessel that you have, like a clean eating, is really interesting to most, because they feel like, well, share the light with me. I should meditate. Well, you can meditate and you can surround the light all you want, but to absorb it and embody it in your physical form, that's where all your ideas come from. That's where you project it. That's where everything happens, is inside of the physical form, because you're in a 3D matrix here. So, or vibrational reality. So it would be, take care of your body. Take that time to sit in stillness. Live in the now. You could not imagine how living in the now could also be very youthful. You look at these. I learned in Eastern, in the Tao Temple and the monks and all the traveling I did, their skin, everything is beautiful because they live in the now, in appreciation for what's in front of them. And because if you're projecting in the future, if you're living in the past, it actually ages the light inside of your body, which ages your skin and all this stuff. So sit in the now, eat healthy, pay attention to what you're bringing into your body, and that's really, there's so much more, and that's it's a huge array of,
Sure.
of stuff you can do. But most people are practicing meditation. They have some kind of practice, but I am an advocate for the healers, I guess, and I work with a lot of healers worldwide, and a majority of them do not take care of their body. They don't watch what they eat. I feel like it's becoming more of an understanding that to hold that light, that you get to take care of your body. But if you want the first steps, watch what you're eating, watch those live foods, so you feel alive inside.
That's part of what we teach about at the Life by Design Institute. Is it starts with your body. You have a body, mind, and your soul. Mm-hmm. And if your body's not healthy, and your mind's not healthy, then it's hard to attach to your soul purpose, right?
Right. And over the years, I found that as you've seen, as I give big gatherings, I give big information, and what happens is it goes around people, and they keep coming back, not absorbing it in their body. And I had to learn it's because their body has to expand to accept and allow the information that I'm even sharing with them. And so I used to give bigger ideas. I used to give bigger ways. But right now I'm saying I feel that the human experience through all the chaos and the stuff that's going on worldwide, take care of your body, be in your body, take those times to meditate and do certain things to bring you joy.
Yeah, and I think it really takes that daily practice, like you're talking about. It's like anything else. If you're out of practice, it's not going to work. Sean was over here telling us we don't have much time left. Tell us really quick what you're working on now, and all.
So I have a book coming up. I'm writing it now. I've been writing it for years. It will be out soon. I'm not sure when. It's kind of spirit guided, so I'm going to make sure that it's just perfect. And I have the events coming up. There's going to be another one in August with Jeffrey Olson on NDEs. I have weekly meetings here, and I also am on Radio St. George 100.3 on Wednesdays at 4:00. And we share information. We also do live healing, so there's so much going on.
So we have about 10 seconds left. Really quick, how to get a hold of Nicole is energyhealingbydesign@gmail.com. You can reach her on the phone at 435-319-0951. And you can, of course, reach me as well at my website, lifebydesigninstitute.org.
And peace. For more information, go to lifebydesign.institute. Dr. William J. Miller has had an intuitive gift from a young age. Putting his energies to good use, he started his first successful business at the age of 17. His entrepreneurial journey has led him in building several multi-million-dollar businesses, which he continues to this day. Through his unique understanding of frequency and energy, Will has built businesses into successful and productive companies and helped thousands of people create success and understand their divine purpose in life. As an accomplished speaker, researcher, and transformational coach, Will has developed spiritual-based and personal business coaching programs. In addition, Will continues to speak at organizational events, as a guest on radio shows, and as a lecturer at universities. Dr. Will's focus is helping all those he encounters to understand and to live their divine nature.